Welcome to Into the Pages. This is our last episode covering Wind and Truth for now. Not much more to say than that. Let's get into it. Podcast! So what's the biggest thing you want to get off your chest about this book right now?
It sucks. No, I'm just kidding. The biggest thing? I'm just curious what's going to happen with the Cosmere at large.
You're just curious about the Cosmere at large?
Yeah, I was talking to a coworker, and he brought up something interesting. I don't know why I never made this connection, but he was saying... Do you remember... Actually, maybe this wasn't a connection. Maybe he was confused. But do you remember in Lost Metal when Autonomy is bringing in those soldiers? Do you remember how they were described from the portal when
No.
Marcy saw them?
No.
I don't remember if they were described as robots, but the one thing...
I don't remember thinking anything was described as a robot.
So I guess maybe I'm the one who's off my rocker. But he brought up, he was like, and there's that scene with the portal where they have to see the beings with the red glowing eyes. And he was like implying that they were void bringers or fused. And I was like, oh, if they were fused.
You think they were robots?
No, I don't think they were robots. But I don't think they were fused either.
Oh, okay. Is there anything
else? I don't even know why I brought this up.
You don't know why? You're talking about the Cosmere, so.
Yeah, it was Cosmere stuff.
That's all you needed.
Anyways, it's kind of cool just to get the... We've been asking, and we're still not 100% clear, but clearer than it's ever been, the timeline. We've talked about it a lot on this podcast.
Yes, that was something I thought was super interesting to learn. Is I have been asking myself since Arrow 2 came out, like, how come so much time has passed on Scadrial, but the Rosharans are still seem to be much less developed and stuff. And we get an answer.
We do,
yeah. Because this is.
I think we've already technically had that answer because Harmony did a lot to help him when he redid the Earth after the first ruler.
Yeah.
And so they had gunpowder and stuff, but at the end of Wind and Truth, when Hoyd gets killed by Retribution, aka Taravangian, holding honor and odium, he transfers to a body, I guess a backup body or something in Scadrial, and then he applies to be Wax's coach driver.
So this is like all taking place before Era 2.
Yeah, but
or really
like
close
barely,
at the same time, but barely. But
yeah, like pretty much while Wax was still in the roughs, but not by much because the amount of time that's passed technically in this arc of Wave Kings is only about 7 or 8 years.
I don't even think it's that long, unless you count like going back to Kaladin's past.
I'm going back to Kaladin's past.
Oh, yes.
But if we're talking just strictly about what the heck happens when they're all adults, it's probably like 2 or 3.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Yeah, Wax is still he's well established in the roughs, but at the end of Wind and Truth is when I guess he's back now. I don't remember, and I'm thinking back in Era 2, I don't remember. Was Hoyd always his coach driver?
I thought so, yeah.
Oh, okay.
But he's the only one I remember them saying anyway, that they didn't care about the other drivers. I think I'm getting myself a little confused. I was thinking like because of Odium taking up honor or Taravangian taking Odium and honor, and they get that like time bubble around Roshar because of that their time is going slower, so the Rosharans aren't experiencing as much time passing as the rest of the Cosmere.
Yeah.
But that's really for future, but I think...
still, like it says, and this is just Kelsier's guess, and so I don't know what kind of Cosmere genius he is or isn't. But he said he guesses about 10 years is going to pass on Roshar, while about 80 or so years is going to pass in the rest of the Cosmere, which isn't like a crap ton of time, but it is a decent amount of time.
Yeah. I'm also thinking more so like between Mistborn Era 1 and 2, there's a lot of development. And yeah, like, Sazed helps with that. But then, like the Rosharans don't like make any progress really, but I think the answer to that is because of the Desolations. They just kept having to start over.
Yeah, for thousands of years. But they still did have quite a few of their own kind of innovations and things like that.
Yeah.
Like they you have the Scadrians have radios, and the Rosharans have span reads, but the span reads are definitely inferior to radios, I think.
I think so.
Especially when you consider, now that Retribution's around, there's no more Stormlight. So that's something to consider, because all the Rosharan technology is 100% reliant on Stormlight. But they also had like their flying machines, which were getting better, and Risen had that a little better. She was trying to do a patent and stuff.
Wheelchairs and stuff.
And they're getting better and better at that.
Yeah.
And so they probably could have had eventually flying ships that were probably about as good as the Malwish flying ships, but they definitely weren't quite there yet. But overall, I think Scadrial is definitely just better. They're more advanced.
Definitely.
Just with gunpowder alone, and they have electricity and like cars.
And we see like in the Sunlit Man how advanced the Scadrians on that planet were.
Yeah, but again, it's completely unclear how long it's been.
Yeah.
Completely unclear because...
this is something that's hard to figure out too. Do you remember if Sigzil ever mentioned anyone else other than Kaladin still on Roshar?
He said, the only thing I remember is he specifically said that he missed Kaladin and wanted to visit.
Okay.
And so that can be one of two things. Because by the end of Wind of Truth, no one knows that Kaladin has become a herald, because his body was left behind.
Yeah, so they
just find his dead body and just assume he's dead. So no one knows that he's, including Sigzil.
Yeah.
At the ending of Wind and Truth, Sigzil's in Shadesmar, hoofing it with the Iriali people, and he meets 12124, who I strongly suspect is going to change his name to Auxiliary.
100% think that's Auxiliary.
And then, which makes me think, are they going to have a bond of some sort?
They must. He must say,
because he said that he was. I don't know, because in Sunlit Man, when Sigzil was talking about when he activated the Dawn Shard, he said that the Dawn Shard was just looking for investiture and latched on to Auxiliary, but it never mentioned that like they ever had a bond, even though he can summon him as a Shard Blade. So maybe they did have a bond. I don't know.
Yeah, I can say.
Especially because when Sigzil is flying to save the people from the sun in Sunlit Man, he summons Windrunner armor and has the Windrunner symbol.
That's right.
And Auxiliary, if we are correct, and that is 12124, is a High Spren.
I thought it was Honor Spren.
No, he's a High Spren, which is
because
the Skybreakers.
Syl is an Honor Spren, not.
Yeah.
Just get it mixed up, whatever.
This is High Spren, which means he would still have the gravitation surge, but he would also have division. I mean, it never mentions him using. I'm pretty sure he would have been like, I can just blow it up with my division powers, but he used gravitation only to get there.
Yeah, so maybe I don't know. They seem to have something of a bond. I feel like they'd have to have some sort of a bond. I don't know what kind of
bond. Because then we also have the Unbonded, the Unoathed, the Adolin and Yonagon and a few others.
But my question for that is, in order to be unbonded, do you have to bond a Deadeyes? Does it work?
Well, they're not bound by oaths. I mean, I know Adolin mentions his bond with Maya, but he hasn't spoken any oaths.
So I guess that could be it. He could totally.
So maybe it's just
unbonded.
So it's kind of seeming like it's laying the ground rules, like the groundwork for, since honor has been absorbed by Taravangian and become retribution. Does that mean, because all the oaths and things were like of honor and from honor, and so does that mean that those are now no longer needed, or they don't work anymore? Because I know there's still Radiance. They don't have Stormlight, so they can't do their crap. But I mean,
yeah, I don't know.
And even in when they're talking about it, because after everything goes down, Dalinar dies, and I don't know. I think he technically won the bout with Taravangian, because he just didn't say anything about Dalinar being like resurrected and becoming effused.
I would say so, yeah, because he had like a third option. He didn't win it and he didn't lose it. Almost, it felt like.
Anyway, where was I going with this? Damn it! I'm just saying because like Stormlight's not around anymore. It's like they can't really use their surges like at all. Right. And so when he took over, though, we had Aesir, the Shattered Plains, and Urithiru were the only places that I'm aware of on Roshar that weren't affected by whatever it is that Retribution is doing. There's no more Stormlight, but the Tower Light still works, and so Radiance at Urithiru can still use Tower Light to do their business, but Tower Light only works at the tower, so it's not like terribly useful.
Right.
But and people are stuck in Shazmar. It's craziness. So I'm curious to see what's going to happen to that, because if you say like a special prayer to Retribution, he grants you use of Void Light, essentially.
That wasn't that only for like singers? He wasn't like just doing for like a Radiant couldn't do that.
I don't know. They just Venli talked about it from her perspective.
Yeah.
And she said that she had to say a prayer to Retribution, but now that it's Retribution, it's not Raze, it's Teravangian. And so I'm sure that if even a Radiant were to be like, hey, what's up? I wonder if the Skybreakers would be able to be like, hail Retribution, and then now they could, maybe else. And they don't really go into a lot of that detail.
Yeah, I have the feeling that, like, if Kaladin were around and still his normal self, that he would not be able to get Void Light.
Same with Zeth. I don't think he can get, and doubly so because he sent 12124 away.
Yeah. So it
was like, I'm gonna go find.
He probably has. Oh wait, he doesn't have any. All the honor blades were taken, huh? He can't even use those.
Yeah, because the heroes came back. He has Nightblood, so.
But Nightblood doesn't really help with that. Nightblood doesn't offer anything.
Yeah, you don't remember?
He does now, I guess.
Yeah, you remember there? He's like, yeah, I can give you surges.
Yeah, surges.
We'll see what that.
Does that include healing? Must include healing, I would think.
I don't know, because the Stormlight heals you, but I mean, there's a surge of regrowth, but it doesn't say what surge he's giving him. Is he going to give him all of them? Is he going to give him?
I mean, he said surge is. He didn't specify.
I know, but each order gets 2, so I mean,
that's a lot. He could be pretty dang powerful and dangerous in the future.
Speaking of Nightblood, he had a pretty cool scene. Did we talk? I don't know if we were talking about this in our last episode, but where he got drawn by Sigzil, and then he was able to decide to stop sucking their souls away after they had him drawn for too long, which is kind of cool. Nightblood was able to.
Yes, he's going through therapy too.
Yeah, because it's like he was there, and I'm like, geez, this sword's like super sentient.
Yeah.
And so it's kind of interesting on what Vasher would think.
I would love to know that. That'd be really interesting to see them kind of go back together and be like, look at what I learned.
Speaking of Vasher, Vasher had a interlude scene where he's being tortured by some unknown group, and they're demanding that he give them.
They wanted his
breaths, which at this point he must have a ton.
Yeah, I think he's got a ton, way a ton.
And then Lift comes in, and she like super impresses him, and he's like, I've never seen that level of like just raw instinctual talent. Like, you need a teacher. And the Lift decides to let Zyle teach her. So I'm like, that's pretty sweet. The Lift's going to become like unstoppable.
She better become way awesome. I am really curious to see what's going to happen. I feel like we didn't really get much closure with some of the smaller characters like Lift. We have no idea. The last thing we heard from Lift is that she rescued Zyle from the people who were torturing him.
And then went back and was like, teach me. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's it. We don't know where they were at when the
they should have been still in the tower. I don't think they.
I'm sure they're still at the tower, but I have no idea. They could have left. Maybe Zyle was like, "We gotta get the crap out of here."
Maybe. I don't know.
And the only reason she found him because she wanted to save some stupid chicken, wasn't that what happened?
Yeah, she wanted to save her AVR or whatever, or her parrot, whatever the crap it was.
Oh, was it not a chicken?
I mean, they call every bird a chicken.
Oh.
So I think I've heard theories that it's an AVR. But maybe that was Marise's bird. I don't know. One of the birds in here is an AVR, I've heard.
Yeah. So wow, this whole book just took a turn and went down a path that I wasn't even close to predicting. I was kind of right in one thing. I did suspect someone like Dalinar or Kaladin would get Honor's power, and Dalinar did have it for a second there.
He did, which I thought he would be like terrible. I was like, not Dalinar, but then Dalinar decided to give it up and then died. But then something even worse happened. I did not see this coming at all, where Odium just takes up Honor. I'm just like, whoa, okay.
Yeah, I didn't think that would happen because of what we kind of talked about. Like, I totally thought like Taravangian and Honor had like completely different views, but apparently they freaking go together. Like,
well, because it came out that the only thing, because the Power of Honor has been without a host for probably like 2,000 years or so. When did Honor die? I want to say 2,000 years or 10 of that.
I can't remember.
2,000. Let's say 2,000 years. He's been without a vessel, and apparently, if the power of a shard's without a vessel, they begin to become self-aware.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's kind of what happened with like Cell and stuff, and why things are kind of weird there. But the Honor at this point, and even before this, is just the only thing it cares about is that you say what you do what you say you're going to do. That's literally all it cares about. I know we think about like honor, like doing the good, righteous thing.
Yeah, but
the power of honor literally just believes that if you keep your word, if you do what you said you're going to do.
Yeah, so I want to murder all these people.
Yeah, and Taravangian was literally like, look, I kept my word. I did what I said I was going to do. And Honor was like, oh, hell yeah. And then that's like all he cared about.
Stupid.
But on the same coin, Dalinar had this thought, and Hoyd was even like, you brilliant genius. Of course, Hoyd was talking about, all the shards in the Cosmere were like, oh yeah, Odium's at Minro Shard, like who gives a crap? But then as soon as it became Retribution, all the shards all of a sudden focused on Retribution and making it obvious that there's going to be like some sort of conflict. And even Taravangian was like, I'm not ready for this. And so that part of Dalinar's plan, Hoyd called the genius. But the part that Hoyd doesn't know about is Dalinar recognizing that honor as a power needs to grow and learn, and it needs time to do that. And that's along with his plan to make the other shards recognize Odium was why he gave up honor, because he knew that if honor attached to Taravangian, he would have all the time. He would have all the time to grow and mature and learn and grow. I said grow twice. That's how important it was. Yeah. And there's even a part where when Taravangian initially takes it up, Dalinar briefly sees like parts of honor leave and not attached to Taravangian. Yeah. And even when Taravangian's talking, honor even like it's like not 100% bonded. They're like a little shaky. And so I think that's foreshadowing for at some point some point in the future, honor is going to split and like become its own thing. Yeah.
He was already it must take a really long time, because in the thousands of years that he's not had a vessel, he did grow something, but he's kind of like a child.
Yeah, that's what Dalinar said. He's like I think he just said child. I was gonna say 13-year-old, but I was like, I don't know where I'm getting that number, so I think he just said child.
Yeah, he seemed definitely kind of ignorant and stuff. I remember one of the things that it said in Tanavast, one of his chapters that makes the shards a little more difficult is when they split up Aiden Alcium. They got rid of like the compassion and love or whatever the shards have. So the shards are just like, they don't actually care or feel or anything like that. They just kind of...
Yeah, they're literally just what that shard is all it does. Mm-hmm. So Ruin, all he cared about was that things needed to end. Preservation, all it cared about was things staying the same and preserving. Cultivation cared about things changing. Honor only cares about you keeping your word. Odium... hatred only cares about passion and emotions. Yeah. And like you said, it was mentioned in this book, they're like, when they're not together, you have like, and I think Witt said it best. I think it was Witt that said it, like he has the anger of a god without the compassion of a god to balance it out.
Mm. Yeah, I remember that.
So you can see it in all of them. Like I think after however many thousands of years, I think it's been 10,000. I think we can confidently say it's been 10,000 years since the original shard bearers have had shards. And the vessels are starting to become the power rather than controlling the power. So that's why
yeah, I think so.
They're all going crazy.
Except for, I guess, like Tanavast in the end, he like tried to do his own thing and eventually just kind of... This was surprising for me. He was like his own undoing in a way.
Yeah, the power, he broke his word. The vessel of honor was able to break his word, and as a result was like severed from honor. But at the same time, he was able to kind of save himself and put all his memories and a good portion of his self into the Stormfather.
Mm-hmm. I was totally expecting to hear about like some massive battle between Odium and Honor or something like that, and Odium came on top. That's what I was expecting this entire series.
They almost did. When Dalinar took up Honor, they almost started fighting, but then it's weird because, or maybe that I need to reread Era 1 because I remember when Ruin and Preservation were fighting when Vin held. They were fighting like the whole time, but I don't remember it being this big old cataclysmic event.
No, it wasn't.
And I wonder if it's just that they're so complementary, they were just able to so perfectly counter each other, whereas Odium and Honor just like clashed with the power of two gods, and that's what caused it to be such coastal cataclysm.
That's the only thing I can think of right now that makes sense.
I was thinking about that. I was like, how come Ruin and Preservation's battle wasn't... Because it was the end of the world, but that's because of the Ash Mountains, not because Ruin had stoked up the Ash Mountains, not because Ruin and Preservation were fighting. At least I could be wrong. It's been years since I've read Mistborn Era 1.
That's what I remember too. It's like this really just felt like it was coming to a end of the world situation.
And the world did technically end, but just not like
it's not the same way we're thinking. But Mistborn didn't feel like that at all.
Yeah.
It felt like it was a big change, but no, I don't remember. Like, it's not like I forgot what the city is called before this first era, but Ellendale was not like flattened. It was Luthadel, that's right. That city was not like flattened. I don't even remember where they were fighting. They weren't even in Luthadel in that last final battle. But whatever that final battle, there was destruction and stuff, but it wasn't on like a massive scale.
Yeah, everyone was sheltering from the Ash Mountains, and there was the one battle between the Koloss. The Koloss was coming to try to get the ATM, and they had to find all the ATM mistings, and it was like this big deal. They're trying to like eat all of Ruin's body and fight the Koloss. Remember?
Yeah.
I think that was like the big battle. And then Vin was kind of just watching as Preservation. And then I don't remember what she did. But she did something such that her and the vessel of Ruin died. But I don't remember how she did that.
I don't either.
Because then that's when Sajid came up, and then he was able to become both.
Because somehow she got like Preservation. But then like her and Ruin fought.
Because his well of whatever power came back, right? And she was at isn't that the Well of Ascension? Is that what's called?
The last one?
No, I mean isn't that I know that's what the book's called, but isn't that what it's also called how she's able to take up Preservation's power?
Oh sure, I don't remember.
Oh well, whatever.
I
gotta reread it again.
Seriously.
Get back into good old Vin and Kelsier and the gang.
All the people that are dead now. Except for Kelsier.
Maybe that'll be our next book. We'll see. Anyway, I'm trying to think. There's like so many cool things happen.
That's the crazy thing is, this definitely had a different level of like the Sanderson slap. There was so much going on. Like, let's see if we can go down the list. Like, Kaladin is now a herald. Zeth was supposed to be a herald.
Let's pause there because that was such a beautiful scene.
Yeah,
I love the Kaladin arc. Just thinking about him when we first meet Kaladin, he's this super depressed slave, and now he's a super depressed herald.
I don't think he's that depressed anymore. He's a
lot better.
He's a lot better.
He's a lot better.
He's the one helping all the depressed people.
Now he's the therapist of the heralds.
Yeah, seriously.
But anyways, the line he says. Do you remember the line he says when he steps up to be a herald? Is the exact
the one he says
it's the exact same line he said to Dalinar when he's gonna get in the thing. He's like, "Honor's dead, but I'll see what I can do." And I was like, "Yes, Brandon."
Yes,
that almost makes up for the whole Sunlit Man spoiling the entire Stormlight Archives. Almost, you bastard.
Yeah, no, I totally remember that, and I was like, I love it. I love it a lot.
Like goosebumps, shivers. That was so good.
That was a really good moment. Yeah,
it was so good. Because I was like, Seth's gonna be a herald. I was like, okay, and then
I didn't see what Ishar saw because when he was like, yeah, Seth needs to be there, I was like, what? No,
because he was crazy.
Yeah, and
because he does exactly what I say, so he be.
Yeah, that's what it was. Really, he wanted another herald that would obey him. Yeah. Ishar was nuts.
How did what did Kaladin do something to push out Odium's influence from Ishar?
Not that I remember, actually.
I remember just they described like the black smoke like coming off.
Yeah,
and then him being like, "What did I do?"
He therapized him.
Maybe that's what it was. He therapied him.
That's Kaladin the superpower. Apparently, he's
like power up therapy.
Yeah. You know what I'm dying to know? I don't even know what's happened. But are Syl and Kaladin still bonded?
They're together. They were both there.
Well, they were okay.
They were pretty right.
I hope so because I don't remember.
Flippin' flap. Because I think I remember because Kalak was there, and I think Syl came and talked to Kalak, and then to come talk to Kaladin. You just read this today.
I know, but you know what? There was so much friggin' crap going on that this is what I was saying last time. I already need to reread this dang book because there was so much going on. No, because it's Kaladin who comes up to Kalak.
I could have sworn Syl's there.
But that doesn't mean that she's not there. I don't see her name, though. I'm just kind of scanning the last chapter. I hope she's there. But I mean, like, she's immortal too, right? She's not going to die. So even if he's gone for like 10 years, he's not going to...
Well, I know, but I'm just saying, like, did she go back to the cognitive realm, or is she with Kaladin?
Yeah, I don't know, because just doing a quick scan, I don't see her name in this.
Dang it. Why did I think she was there?
I don't know, you lost
I could have sworn she was there.
She was there when he became a herald. But, yeah, it doesn't say... I mean, like, it talks about Nail having a spren, so maybe they all have spren, and Syl is still just Kaladin's spren.
Well, I think Nail was different.
He was different than the other heralds.
Yeah, because the other heralds just used their honor blades, and I think at least it didn't mention any of the other ones.
Maybe it's because he was a Skybreaker, so they were different. They had to have high spren or whatever.
I don't think he had the spren the whole time either. I think it was like a recent development, recent for heralds, meaning the last 500 to 1,000 years or something.
Yeah. So we get Kaladin's whole thing. He's saved all the heralds with his therapiness. They're gonna get therapy while they're
he was able to get
recovering.
Nail and Ishar. He was able to do some therapy for, and then now they're all in this place. And Ishar did a new thing with their bond that they can still their bodies or whatever the heck. I mean, I don't know. I was kind of confused by this, but somehow he's made it so that their minds are separate from their bodies, even though their bodies are just investiture. So I don't know how they're just separate. Somehow you're able to do it. So their bodies can still technically be tortured, but they're not going to be there to experience it.
Yeah.
And so like they'll actually be refreshed and rested if there's ever another desolation.
Mm-hmm. Which apparently this whole thing is the true desolation. All the others were false ones, I guess, which is crazy. That's what they were saying. Somebody was saying that like the true desolation has started.
Yeah.
I don't remember who it was. Yeah, so after that, like Szeth, I wonder if they're going to get healed eventually because like there's no Stormlight, but like Kaladin is missing he's missing 2 of his fingers on his hand because of Nightblood. And Szeth is missing his entire right arm up to the shoulder, up past the shoulder.
I don't think he'll be healed.
I don't think so either.
Because 2 reasons. One, it was killed by Nightblood. I think Nightblood's a special thing.
It's not like a shard blade.
I don't think it's like a shard blade. Similar to a shard blade, but like instead of it just poofs everything away. Mainly because when Szeth was fighting the honor bearers, he killed one of them with Nightblood, and that was the only one that didn't come back to fight him in the final challenge. Right. And so it definitely destroys the soul. And so if you think if he destroyed the soul of his arm, I think that's one reason why it's never going to go back. And 2, we know it's all about, if you get healed quickly before you start thinking of that as, I just don't have an arm there. With Stormlight not even being a thing anymore, I don't think he's going to get healed in time, especially because you can't even get into the tower. So even if you walk to the tower, it has a defense around it. You can't even get in. And so I just don't think he's... So from 2 perspectives. 1, I think Nightblood's going to make it impossible to heal. And 2, I don't think he's going to get healing in time before it's viewed as part of it. And knowing Szeth, he's going to be like, this is a punishment I must accept.
Yeah, totally. Oh, speaking of, I totally just skipped right over this, but both Szeth and Kaladin say the 5th ideal in this conflict, which was insane. Like, first of all, Szeth freaking cheats and just skips right over the 4th ideal and goes right to the 5th. Freaking Skybreaker. I know.
It was so cool, though. I liked the 5th ideal for the Radiant, for the night, for freaking, what the hell, Kaladin. Okay. Wind Runner.
Yes, that was a good one. And Szeth just declares himself the law. I think it says the 5th ideal. Yeah. And then, like, he says the 5th ideal and then tells 12124 to, like, hey, get out of here.
And it's like, I need a different sprint. And 12124 is like, rude.
Yeah, seriously.
But then he gets up with Sigil, so it's all good.
Yeah, I was a little surprised with that, though, because it seemed like Kaladin also had a really big effect on 12124.
Yeah, 100%.
So
because 12124 came to Kaladin and was like, what do I need to do? Like, help me.
Yeah, and he changed. Better? He wasn't the same as he was before. Like, you need to do what I say and stuff like that. So I felt like that was a little clunky. Like,
and even I don't remember if it was Nail or Nail's Spren even told 12124 that they weren't going to be able to get Night Radiant bonds anymore, because apparently the high Spren, you had to like apply for the job, and then they had to take oaths too, and I don't remember if it was Nail or his Spren that was like, no mo.
No mo. So I wonder, he's not even going to be able to do it. I wonder if he have to start over. With the next sprint, does he say all the ideals again?
Who for Zeth? I don't know.
Probably not.
Maybe he won't even get an honor sprint because if Nightblood gives him surges.
Yeah, but still, does Nightblood still power the surges by sucking on your soul?
I don't know. I guess we'll see.
He's just gonna keep.
Maybe he'll keep progressing and be able to able to use Nightblood without it.
Yeah, maybe because Nightblood also has got some therapy. It seems like, and it doesn't want to consume people.
Yeah.
Like that, so.
And we also saw Nightblood was somehow able to feed off of Kaladin's Stormlight while Zeth was holding him.
Yeah.
So they're going to find a different thing where he can just hold it up and it just sucks the soul of everyone out.
Oh, gee, that'd be insane.
Can you imagine? He's just like...
That would really suck.
It's like that thing that Dumbledore has, the clicker for the light, except for souls.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah, so Zeth moved on, and he's like still going to do his thing with Shinovar, and like I don't know if he's like. It kind of made me think that he's like going to become the leader, or at least
I would imagine so.
Yeah,
especially because he just killed all the leaders of Shinovar, so he's either going to leave it in complete disarray and chaos, or which I don't imagine.
I know I forgot what he said. He wanted to do one other thing, and then he was going to go to the people of Shinovar and be like, "Hey, this is what's going on." And he was going to explain everything because they're all lost and confused.
I don't remember what he was going to do before that.
I don't either, but
actually, the only thing I remember he's going to do is that he wants to define the other high sprint.
Oh, that's what he wants. He wants to find the deserters, whatever the crap that Nail was telling him about. I think the Skybreaker dissenters.
Yeah.
Something. So that's what it was. He wanted to go find them, and then he was going to go catch Shinovar up to speed.
So hopefully it's a real quick.
Yeah.
Just real quick.
And, man, I see what you were saying last time, too. Kaladin has a really satisfying arc. Loved it. Like, man, he was...
beat up a lot.
He was at the bottom of the barrel and like there was just no hope, and then he just pulls it out of his butt.
It just becomes a herald. And I'm like, oh, okay, nice.
Wait, did I say Kaladin or Adolin?
You said Kaladin.
Well, Kaladin was satisfying. I meant to say Adolin though.
Oh, Adolin.
Adolin has a really good satisfying arc. He's in him and Kaladin both just got like really beat up, but more so Adolin in this one.
Yeah, Adolin lost a whole leg.
I really like Adolin's arc because it was kind of what I was expecting, but also not. I was expecting him to be like a full-blown like Radiant by the end of this, but he's totally something different now. That's right now, as long as there's no Stormlight, he is going to be just as strong as a full-blown Radiant.
Yeah, because he can insta-summon armor and a blade without any oaths.
Yeah, and man, I loved how he got his armor back. Like, as this whole thing goes, you know, he gets crushed by the Thunderclash and he's not able to fight, so he has someone else in the army using his armor, and that guy falls, and then he loses his armor
to Abadi.
To that friggin' Abadi.
Abadi, whatever how you say his name.
I like Abadi because Abadi sounds, I don't know, weird.
Abadi.
Abadi, yeah, there we go. And then, like, that jerk freaking fuses this thing. He's so cool and crap, and then he like, kind of tricks Adolin a little bit to get trapped in the throne room where there's aluminum, so he can't summon Maya. So
then he fights with an aluminum candle.
Yeah,
an aluminum candlestick.
That was freaking badass. Let me tell you what, like, what the heck? He's fighting against a fused who has shard plate and a shard blade, and he's like winning with a friggin' candlestick
and a peg leg.
Holy crap! Like
he's had for like a day.
Yeah, and then I think he's at his end, and he's finally just like, I can't win this with a candlestick.
Yeah, because then he hits him. Abadi hits him.
Oh
and
yeah!
As he's flying through the air, he like
he somehow like calls out, and then because he also has been able to communicate a little bit with his armor spren, and then like he gave them a command before the final battle, like, hey, I want you to just work for whoever is this, and I guess he forgot it or didn't understand it. And so,
because he said that they were confused and assumed that Abadi was part of that order.
Yes.
And so when he called out, like you said, he called out, and then they were like, "Oh," and then they came back to him.
That must be so weird. Like, I can't imagine, like, you get punched by your armor, you go flying through the air, and the armor that just punched you flies off and saves you.
It was totally an Iron Man moment when he in that one movie where he saves his wife. And he's like, when she's flying through the air, it's like ding, 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 ding. It was like that.
I do see something similar like that. Yeah, so that was super awesome because then I love how he like just punches Abadi through the door.
Yeah.
Like kills him. It was great.
Especially because it was from the other perspective. It was from Yanagon's perspective.
Yeah.
And he's standing there also. He's like, all of a sudden the doors crash open. And this guy flies out. And I'm like, oh, dang. And he's like, suit up. And then.
Yeah. Oh, this is another cool thing, too. This is what I wanted to bring up is like, Adolin still is missing a leg. But since his armor is like awakened now, they like calculate. They like did something they calculated in their heads and like, okay, this is what we got to do for his leg. So they like reformed around his right leg, around his peg, and formed him a foot out of the shard plate. And now he walks better. Yeah,
and he said the way he described it, he's like it seemed like they knew what they were doing, and like they had done it something similar, or something similar had been done in the past, which I guess makes sense. I mean, if you're a Knight Radiant and you lose a limb and aren't able to get it back from regrowth,
or at least not able to get it back.
And then it made me think, you have the smarts, the intelligent Spren who form bonds with the Radiants, and when their Radiant dies, they can find another Radiant. Is the armor the same way? Is it the same, whatever Spren that made the armor for each Knight? And so you think, you think 6,000 years of fighting or 2,000 years of fighting, they're bound to have some sort of missing limbed Radiant.
Yeah, for sure. And I didn't think about this, but wow. Can all Radiants just do regrowth, or do you have to wait for like an Edge Dancer?
I think it's Will Shapers and Edge Dancers that can specifically do regrowth. But
because like if Kaladin gets his arm cut off, he can't just regrow it.
Well, it does technically, but I don't know how fast because Lopen's arm. Because
Lopen did it, so it's not really.
And so Stormlight does heal you. But I think to be healed, you have to have, or to heal someone else, you have to have regrowth. And I think it even mentioned, I don't think that you can use regrowth on yourself. I don't think. I could be wrong. I could be wrong about that, but I don't think you can use regrowth on yourself.
Yeah. So unfortunately, he was not able to get to someone with regrowth before Odium.
Yeah, now he's stuck in Azir.
Yeah, he's stuck in Azir, and he does not have his leg back, is kind of what I was getting at. He has to... I
kind of half mentioned this earlier, but the parts of the treaty that are exempt from Retribution's deal are like spots of sunshine. There's like a big storm over the whole planet, it seems like.
Yeah.
And then Azir, there's like a little ring of clear skies, which is interesting.
Probably around year 3 or 2.
Yeah. And the Shattered Plains.
That is where Adolin ends up. He's kind of just stuck in Azir for the time being. Poor Shallan. Little Shallan got stuck in Shadesmere.
Yeah, like barely.
Yeah, seriously.
She got out of the spiritual realm into the cognitive. And then her and Renarin and Relaine were chilling by the Oath Gate, and they're like, quick transfer. And then Renarin and Relaine were able to get there, but Shallan not quite. Wasn't
like right as Odium sucked at there.
Yeah. So
unfortunately she is stuck. She had a fairly satisfying arc, I thought so too, because like this entire series we've been seeing is just like she's trying to be the one who's like manipulating everyone, if you want to say it that way. Like she wants to be the one that's kind master, of like she wants to be the spy master, but she's always getting shown up by the Ghost Bloods and by
like
Mraize.
Easily, yeah.
And so in the end, which is nice, is who was the other gal? I forgot.
Yato.
It was Yato? Okay.
Yeah.
She figures out that Yato has been posing as formless and kills her, and then she's able to trick Mraize and kill him as well.
Yeah.
So they're out of the picture, which I'm really relieved because Mraize was a pain in the butt.
Yeah, interestingly enough, too, Mraize's Spren and Yato's Spren are chilling with Shallan.
Yeah, which is kind of weird.
Shallan's like, maybe if we get back to Jotnot, you can be healed.
Oh, as I watched there, that's probably why she's with them. Yeah, so I wonder if there's still going to be some chance because Yasna is in Urithiru and she can get into Shadesmar and stuff. So it's like, I figured there'd be something there that they could do.
Yeah, but it mentioned that Yasna doesn't know how to Elskate other people.
Oh, that's the problem. Maybe when she spores the 5th ideal, she'll be able to do it.
Maybe.
She's got some healing to do too.
Yeah.
So what's cool is she is able to find Thydakar, good old Kelsier, and
she
kind of strikes a
deal
deal with
him. Seon to talk with him. Yeah.
Yeah, and then I guess she's going to use that that Sion to make some money in Shadesmar so she can survive there, and she sent. I don't think that it showed the end of this, but she asked. I forgot the name of the Sion. She asked her to hey, send one of your friends to Aesir so I can talk to Aelin. So they won't be able to see each other for who knows how long. Probably the 10 years that there's going to be between 5 and 6,
if not longer. Yeah,
if not even longer. But they'll hear each other's voice.
Yeah, because
so I would feel I'd feel most stressed out in her position. I think I wouldn't want to be stuck in Shadesmar. I think so too. Yeah,
Shadesmar seems like a crappy place to be stuck there forever.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess she could technically travel to other planets, but I don't think she would ever be able to. Well, at least not right now, because she even goes all the way to Cultivation's perpendicularity, all the way in the Hornator Peaks, and of course Cultivation's gone, so it's not there anymore. But
right.
Another thing to mention too is when the Heralds, we mentioned that Kaladin joined the Heralds, and the reason that was is they reformed the Oath Pact to keep Retribution from absorbing all of Honor's spren.
Yes, I skipped over that. He was going to absorb all the spren and remake him in his will shapeness.
Yeah, but they formed the Oath Pact and stopped him from doing that. I don't know if they said if that's also going to keep the fused on Braised or not. I think it is.
I don't remember actually.
But I'm not 100% certain about that.
I don't remember that getting mentioned, but I don't know for sure myself.
Man, I swear Syl is with him.
I feel like she is, but because they're in the spiritual realm, right? So she can get there
somewhere.
Yeah, I'm not 100% since it didn't really mention, but I don't know why she wouldn't be. Did Zeth tried to call out to her, but she never responded. So I wonder.
Yeah, but that could also mean that once Kaladin died and their bond was broken, she went back to the cognitive realm.
Yeah, but did he really die? Is that
his body did, which maybe is enough to sever the bond, but also his soul's not. So maybe it's not. I don't know.
Yeah, well, we'll have to see. We'll get answers to that in the next one.
Did he get an honor blade?
Yeah, he got an honor spear.
Yeah.
Which I thought was freaking sweet.
That's pretty cool. Sorry, it's bugging me. I gotta look. I swear either something like he's watched Syl dance in the background or something like that.
Oh, it could have been something like that.
Oh yeah, right here. So he says, "Who was that soldier in Colin Blue? That figure he couldn't quite make out. That was Nail's spren, he supposed. But that woman with white blue hair, long and flowing, she didn't belong here."
Okay.
I think that's why. I think that description's Syl.
Yeah, I think so too. I forgot about that part. So
even though it didn't say her name, I think she's definitely there.
Yeah, he didn't know Kaladin's name either. So
I know it wasn't crazy. Jeez, it's driving me nuts. I was like, I knew.
You can rest easy. All right, yeah. So we got Shallan stuck in Shadesmar for the foreseeable future. Yeah. I wonder if she just won't even show up in the next Stormlight, and she'll show up in Era 3 of Mistborn.
Maybe.
We better watch out.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Descriptions of redheads or something.
Yeah, redheaded can change.
Yeah.
Because apparently, I didn't realize. Oh, actually, no, that's a different discussion altogether. Never mind. But yeah, maybe we'll see the Ghost Blood. Maybe it might even be really obscure because we remember Maricy's buddy with the Ghost Bloods. So I bet Twin Soul or some nice Ghost Blood is going to be there's that lady on Roshar that's crazy. We need to go deal with her like that. Shallan.
Oh, yeah, there you go. And okay, so who is next? Dalinar is dead.
Dalinar's dead. Navani is in a stasis mode because they felt Retribution forming, and there's totally a weird timing thing because Retribution started pulling back all of Honor's stuff, and the sibling was like, "Oh, I'm gonna die! Holy shit!" And then right as that was happening, the Oath Pact was forming, but they freaked out and did the protection, and then the Oath Pact was formed. They wouldn't have to do the protection, but they're in this protection, and no one knows how to get them out.
Oh, yeah.
So she's the way it's described is just almost like she's in a chrysalis. They can see her. Because Yasna, I remember I don't remember who mentioned this, but it's mentioned that Yasna goes up and sits next to her and tries to get her out.
And it's because of this protection that they've done, right, that no one can get in or out of you.
Yeah.
So
Is it just in the cognitive realm they can't get out, or is it the physical realm too? I don't remember now.
I thought it was the physical realm.
Was it the physical realm and the cognitive realm?
I thought it was the same thing, but yes. You talking about Shadesmar too?
Yeah, Shadesmar's cognitive realm. Yeah,
maybe that's why
I don't remember now.
I don't know, because you were saying, Yasna doesn't know how to else call anyone else, just herself. So
maybe it's just the physical realm.
Maybe it is. I don't remember it talking about Shadesmar.
It might just be the physical realm that I'm thinking of.
But I'm really glad that Yasna is in Uethira, because I'm hoping that she's going to be the best bet, in my opinion, to figure out how to get Navani out of that, or communicate to Navani or the sibling, like, hey, this is a scary world, but we're okay because we're the Oath Pack and
got
crap.
10 years. And hopefully they can figure out farming, because they relied heavily on the Shattered Plains for supplies. But they were starting, and they said the towers functioned.
Oh no, there was something with that on Vanity's perspective. Like, they're allowed to trade with Uethira, but I don't know how that works.
The Oath Gates don't work anymore.
Yeah, because
so I guess they could like go through the tunnels. And
that would take forever.
There, yeah.
Holy crap! That's like halfway through Roshar.
Yeah, so I think they're still got to figure out farming on their own.
Yeah, good luck. Wait, wasn't it that they were doing?
Do you have the map of Roshar?
On my book.
I want to know how far away Uethira is from the Shattered Plains.
It's pretty dang far. I can point right to it. So like, Uethira is there, and the Shattered Plains is over here.
Oh yeah, there's no
so
flipping
it's
way.
Like,
there's no flipping way. Maybe with Azir, they're kind of close to Azir.
Yeah, but so this is what I was just thinking. Before Navani bonded the sibling, they had to go through the Shattered Plains because they couldn't get the tower to work. But after they bonded, then the tower worked, and I thought they were able to grow stuff on their own.
Yeah, they are, but it's like, I think it's like still fledgling.
Oh, okay.
Fledging.
So maybe those have the...
I just know that because they kept mentioning, and maybe this was just totally political, but they kept mentioning like, the Shattered Plains are critical because we rely on it for trade and stuff. They just kept saying that, but it was always in the context of trying to convince the other monarchs to protect the Shattered Plains from Odium's attacks. So it could have been just totally politically...
Yeah, could have been
motivated,
but I think they'll be able to survive.
It has also only been, the tower's only been active for what, a week now, 10 days.
I think when we get their perspective, then the people.
Well, because remember, well, I'm saying currently now at the end of Wind and Truth, I think the tower's only been awake for 10 days. No,
because it's been awake for all through Rhythm of War. Wait, no.
Because at the end of Rhythm of War...
You're right, because it's like at the end of Rhythm of the War.
And this picks up right after that. Like, literally. So they can grow crops, but they...
And they don't have Stormlight. I think they needed Stormlights.
They have Tower Light.
Okay, Tower Light. Yeah, that's right.
They have Tower Light. But...
they're going to have to pull out some...
They're going to be in a desperate situation. They have a huge A city, and they don't have any reliable supplies coming in.
Yeah.
So that's going to be a pickle.
Yes,
we'll see what they do about that.
Yeah.
I'm sure they'll pull and figure something out. But
all right, the other like smaller characters that we don't really have an ending to, we kind of just have to make assumptions, I think. But Kaladin's family, like, we get a little bit of Lirin. Lirin is taking care of Sigzil, but that's it. We don't know. We haven't seen anything of Hashina or Kaladin's little brother. I forgot his name. We assume they're at the tower, but they're probably
something weird.
They're probably just hanging out. They've probably just been doing their regular hospital thing. So, but that's what we also get to see. Wit coming in really rushed, and I love what he says to Lirin, because like he needs to, like, he has the Dawn Shard we learned, and he's like, I need to get rid of this because Retribution is going to very quickly realize that I need to be destroyed and blah blah blah. So this is how we learned how Sigzil first gets it. Is he gets it from Wit.
He gets it from Wit, and then Wit shoves him into the cognitive realm.
Yeah.
And then he gets misted away.
Yeah. Then literally, I think it's actually really funny. He's like, I think he says Teravangian or Odium. I don't remember what he calls it.
Yeah, he's like, Teravangian, have I ever told you about the time? Then I just totally pictured War of the Worlds. And when they get shot with the beam,
oh yeah,
it's just like, that's exactly what I pictured. Except instead of ash, it was just like red.
Yeah, that was really funny to me. But also at the same time, I was like, "Oh frick, is Wit actually like dead?" then we get the next chapter where
I know. Then he
wakes up,
and then we get the timeline click, and you're like, "Oh geez, this is happening right when Wax is getting back from the roughs." Maybe a little bit after. I don't remember when Hoyd became his coach driver.
I don't remember either. I want to say
I feel like it was
the
like
second or third book or something.
Yeah, that's what I think too.
Maybe fourth even.
Because I do remember when Hoyd started, Wayne was like joking with him like, "Oh, the last coachman tried to kill us" or something like that.
Yeah.
And then Hoyd was like, "Oh," and like they had some banter, but
yeah. So Sigzil is also now off on his own.
Yeah, he's chilling with the Iriali, going with them.
Oh yeah, that's right. Who are they?
So there's I've heard a lot of theories about the Iriali. They're like the golden skin people. They have a little interlude here where the great spren that pops up in the water that we learned about in the previous book, that guy that can run on it. Anyway, it says like it's time to leave, and then we find out that Iriali, and travel from place to place and do certain things. And I've heard different theories from fans that they're a manifestation of one of the shards. But I don't know. That's about all I know about the Aureales. They travel all over the place, and they've been on like almost every planet. Now it's time to leave Roshar, and so they've all left.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Now it's clicking again. But yeah, so we still are missing a really big gap in Sigzo's story between Wind and Truth and Sunlit Man.
Yep, because
he has a darn shot now, but he loses it. So like we don't know what happens there.
He uses it and then loses it.
Yeah,
and so he hasn't had any chance to use it. He hasn't had any chance to learn about all these space gizmos.
Yeah.
Because when he comes to, what's the planet called? Whatever. Sunlit Man, he's practically an engineer and understands space mechanics.
So I think he spent
he knows what a vacuum is.
Yeah, I think he spent a good deal of time with the Scadrians because they're probably the ones who have gone out and explored all this and know what a vacuum is.
He knows. I think you're right because he knew them well enough to instantly recognize a Scadrian key card.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That's
he wasn't even like I think that's Scadrian. He's like, oh yeah, that's a Scadrian key card. Which I mean, that's really specific.
Yeah.
I think if you didn't know them that well and just saw like a weird metal plate, you'd be like, what the hell? You'd be like, is that Scadrian? I don't know. That was a funny joke when he was like, those Scadrians and their metal.
Yeah. Yeah. So Wit is destroyed and wakes up in another body.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
It's funny because when he woke up, he was like, "Oh, good, it worked." He's like, "I wasn't sure if this whatever plan he made, he didn't know if it was going to work or not."
That's pretty scary.
And he even mentioned, I wonder where the timeline is in relation to Yumi and the Nightmare Painter because his bond with design is so new, and he even mentions that design was left on Roshar.
Mm-hmm. Like he can feel her, but I think he could kind of sense her, but she's at a great distance away, obviously.
Yeah. We need the Cosmere map to see where Roshar is in relation to Scandril.
I would love that. We need like a similar map to like you can see of Star Wars, like the entire galaxy. We need like the entire Cosmere.
Yeah.
Where's everyone?
I know they have it.
Oh, what? I didn't know that.
Yeah, you've probably seen it because it shows like constellations, so it shows like a warrior and it's like Rosharan system. And it shows
maybe
like
I have that.
It's all over. I'm sure if you saw it, you would recognize it right away.
Okay. I just need to look it up.
I wonder if it might be an Ars Arcanum.
Ars Arcanum? I don't know if I have that.
Oh, Arcanum Unbound. I don't know why I always call it Ars Arcanum.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah, I guess they have these like... It's not exactly what I was thinking of. I was thinking of these maps.
But it's like of the system they're in, but not like the entire Cosmere.
Anyway.
Let's see. Is there anyone else we missed? Who haven't we covered?
Renarin
and Relaine. They're now an interesting couple, whatever you want to call them.
Yeah, it is an interesting couple because they almost don't seem like a romantic couple. Like they kiss and they're totally... they're together, but at the same time, they seem like they're more like emotional support than they are like wanting to have loving. Yeah, this is what I'm talking about.
Oh, okay. Yep. I totally have seen that.
Yeah.
Okay. I just need to study it more.
I haven't studied it all that much recently. Yeah, Roshar and Scadril are pretty close together, unless actually I don't know what dot it is on this Shardbearer.
Yeah, so Relaine and Renarin, they're the ones who decide to release Ba Edo Mishram.
Yeah.
Mishram.
That's a whole arc we haven't even talked about.
Yeah, and
the whole reason Shallan, Relaine, and Renarin are even in the spiritual realm with Dalinar and Navani is trying to find Ba Edo Mishram.
Yeah.
And decide what to do with her, which, like you said, ultimately, Relaine and Renarin decide to release her.
Yeah. I don't know what there's not a lot to go through with that. They all kind of visit their own past.
They had some realizations. Renarin grew a bit, Relaine grew a bit. They're a couple now, I guess.
Oh, there is actually one thing that I thought was super funny. I don't remember if it was one of the Spren, but like the first time Renarin kind of like makes a move towards Relaine, like they hold hands or something like that. And then one of the Spren is like, Shallan's acting really weird. She's like bouncing up and down and making a squeaky noise. Oh, it was Gliss. Okay. Yeah. She was like, oh, that storming woman. And I just imagine her sitting over her lips like, yay. Like she was like super excited about it. But like, Gliss was like, what the fuck is going on? She's like, she's dying, Renarin, save her. Yeah, wasn't that what it was? She's like, something wrong with her. Yeah, it was like, something's wrong. But, yeah. I thought that part was hilarious. That part was pretty funny. Yeah, but luckily for Dalinar and for the wider Cosmere, probably.
I think Ba Mishram just kind of left.
Yeah, but for some reason, I don't quite understand this part, but because Ba Edo Mishram was released, that did something to help Honor. Like the big reason why Tanavas lost his connection with Honor is because he went against his oath and imprisoned Ba'oda Mishram. And because of that, it getting released, Dalinar was finally able to take up the mantle of Honor.
Yeah, I think because something was weird with Roshar when she got imprisoned, and it kind of corrected that.
Something along those lines. So now they're like gonna be the first interracial couple or whatever.
Yeah, and it's part of the reason why, because Ba'oda Mishram's like, I'm going to destroy all humans, and they're going to all die. And then she sees Renan and Relaine, and I think she kind of, like the beginning of maybe it can work out. And maybe, who knows, maybe she'll play a part in, I'm sure she'll play some part in
She might, because I remember Odium even kind of like thinking like, oh, I might have to deal with her later.
Yeah, because the power of Odium more aligns with her. I think so.
Yeah, so I think she's still
more afraid than
she's
the power
probably
itself.
less of a threat to him now that he's got Honor, but she's still going to be an issue and can probably be a big thorn in his side.
I definitely think that Retribution's really powerful, but I think he has some very real weaknesses and chinks in his armor, being in the form of Honor's like halfway sentient itself, and we know it can split. It's split from Tanavast, and so it's not like you can just, once you have it, like it can split. And then 2, on the Odium side, Ba'oda Mishram is kind of a wild card. And so I think those are 2 very real weaknesses set.
Yeah.
And we know he saved Kharbranth, which I think that's more of a weakness in the vessel. So I guess he has 3 weaknesses. He has a weakness for each power, in Ba'oda Mishram for Odium, Honor gaining sentience on itself, and then Taravangian has the weakness of Kharbranth is still alive.
Yes.
Even though he pretended to be all tough, he's like, I did the hard choice and I killed them all. Even though he didn't tell anyone that, but
yeah,
he did a big old show for cultivation.
Yeah, it drove me crazy how he was able to just like pull the fast one at every corner. It just made me insane. It's like, geez.
Yeah, that's what everyone kept saying. They're like, he's the worst person to have this power because I think he's just so like wicked smart.
Yeah, conniving and crap.
Yeah.
Do you think he's smarter than he was? Like, when he was a human, he had his really smart days.
I think he's like now at that smart because remember he kept saying like, "Oh, I had the smartness of a god," and now he is a god, and so I think he's smarter than he was.
I think he is too, because he's also got like the wider reach of a god. He has a better understanding of like the entire Cosmere, not just his little corner of the world on Roshar.
I did also really like his debate with Yasna, and that was a kind of a fun chapter, a kind of a fun section. I hate Fen.
Oh my gosh!
Fen got like so easily manipulated.
Yeah, she did. Holy cow, she was so stupid.
I just gave away all of Phelan.
It's so stupid. Yeah, I don't. Fen. Yeah, she.
Yeah, I think
seemed
the
incredibly
Merchant Council was
naive.
definitely part of it, but Fen was definitely played a huge part. So.
Yeah. You know what's kind of funny? I totally did not know she was like an old lady until like the beginning.
I
of this
had
one.
no clue.
Yeah,
I don't know. I don't know if it's one of those things. I just like, oh, she's 70 flipping years old. This whole time I pictured like a woman like Yasna's age.
Yeah, totally.
But then in this book they're like, oh, we're 2 old people having sex in a hammock, and I'm like, what the hell? Like, you're 70, Fen? What the crap? Like I was shocked.
I was for sure. I was holy crap.
I just missed her description. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't
maybe
know.
when we first meet her, like when Dalinar is trying to talk to her, he's like, "Oh, she's old and wrinkly." You're like, "Oh, you're supposed to. She's like super old." Like, I had no idea.
I don't remember her ever being described as an old lady.
Yeah,
but whatever. Apparently, she's 70, so she's flipping old.
She's one of the people I'm not going to be sad if like she gets taken down hard in the future in this
we'll
series.
See what happens with her. I don't know.
Just hot dang. Anyway, I totally agree. Fen sucks.
Anyway, this whole book ended. It was a very satisfying ending. I know it's satisfying because it ended the same way Return of the Kings did for me, where I'm just like, man, that was such a good story, and dang, it's over. And you just have that feeling where you're just like, ah. But at the same time, it was worse because there's more. There's 5 other books that are going to be more.
5 other monster giant books.
And I'm like, Brandon, and we were talking about this earlier today, like, he was saying at Dragonsteel, he was like, he's going to write Elantris 2, and he's going to write Rhythmatis 2, and Mistborn Era 3. And I remember at Dragonsteel, I was like, yeah, heck yeah, I want to read all of those books. And I finished this, and I'm like, no, Brandon.
Yeah, we need Stormlight 6.
No, Brandon, finish Stormlight.
Yeah, and the thing that like sucks that we were also talking about is like, first of all, he said he probably won't get to Stormlight 6 for 6 to 8 years. So that's 6 to 8 years we have to wait. Plus, he took like 14 years to write Stormlight.
I'm rounding up to 15 because he released
exactly,
it. And
exactly.
he released it in December of 2014.
Like, I'm thinking that we have like over 20 years until Stormlight is complete, until Stormlight 10 is said and done. it's going to be like 20 years. We're all going to be like old ass people.
I know. That's so
Brandon
crazy.
is going to be walking with a cane and like no teeth. And
I know. Maybe at that point we'll have my kids all on this podcast talking about it.
Seriously. By the time that Stormlight is concluded, your kids will be old enough to be reading it and appreciate it and like understand it and not be like, what is
Yeah,
this?
if you figure in 20 years, my youngest kid will be 20 years old.
Yeah, it's freaking insane.
And then my oldest kid will be 29. He'll be like almost our age.
Holy cow, he really will. I'm 34. He'll be only 5 years younger than I am right now. Jeez, there's nothing like kids to make you feel old. I really hope like Brandon doesn't like suddenly come down with Alzheimer's or something like that.
I'm just trying to think, what's he going to do in 6 Is it going to take him 6 to 8 years to do Mistborn Era 3? Maybe that's why it's going to take so long.
Maybe.
How many books was Era 2? 4?
Era 2 was 4, yeah.
He's going to do 4 more books.
Yeah. And that one took him a while too, I feel like.
Yeah. No, the space between Lost Metal and Bands of Mourning is huge. Like a number of years.
It's one of the things that it's like I can understand it, but it's also super frustrating about Brandon. How like you look at the Stormlight archives and like, yeah, it took him 14 years to write the entire thing, but look at all of the other things he wrote in that space too.
And I bet like from his perspective, that's been like constant work and revisions, and he's probably not burned out, but I think he definitely wants a break from.
Yeah, I have heard him say that in interviews. Like he likes writing these books, but he says he needs a break because it is so much work to get a Stormlight book out. I think it's obvious to say that, you know, Stormlight book takes a lot more to get out than a Mistborn book, because that's like what is Mistborn, 500-600 pages versus 13 flipping hundred.
That's like that one book is like almost 3.
You could probably literally fit the first era in this book.
Yeah, you probably could, honestly.
It's a good thing he's a good writer, else we'd be like, I'm not in for this and taking forever.
Yeah, I know, right?
At least I still think about it like stuff like this. Like at least he's writing his stuff. At least he's not pulling a Patrick Rothfuss and like not writing anything anymore.
Or freaking whatever's rock. Oh yeah, you said Patrick Rothfuss.
Yeah.
For some reason, I thought you said George R.R. Martin.
Yeah, him too. But I don't. I haven't read his book, so I don't.
I haven't either. But apparently hasn't he said he's never going to write it?
I don't know. I think I've heard things.
He's
like
in
that.
a hard position because the TV show has ended.
Yeah.
So what is he even going to write? Is he going to write something different than that?
Got me.
Maybe that is the ending, and he just hasn't told anyone yet. I don't know.
I think you should share your exciting news about your son, about Elijah, who we've had on the podcast.
Oh yeah, he's just started reading Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, and he's loving it.
Excellent.
I've been trying for years to get him to read it. He's never been old enough, and he's never been interested. But we were at Barnes & Noble a couple days ago, and he decided to pick it up and read the first couple chapters while we were there, and decided to buy it. And now he's reading through it, and I'm super
freaking excited about that.
I'm super stoked. I'll have to have him on to talk about Harry Potter.
Oh, that'd be sick, actually. I would totally. You guys better leave a comment if you'd like to see that. Like, if we talk about Harry Potter, we'll talk about it with
next generation of Harry Potter fans.
Yeah.
We can all go down nostalgia lanes of being a 10-year-old and reading the Sorcerer's Stone.
And we've already gone down the rabbit hole. So how many times on this podcast about Harry Potter? We're gonna sit here and talk about it.
Just get his perspective and just see what he thinks, and then throw our theories at him. And
especially like, when did that book come out?
I don't even know. Is that going to be just that book, or do you think it's going to be the original?
I think
is that your original? That one you had as a kid?
This is like my original. I want to see if it's a first edition, because this is kind of funny. I've got my name in it with our old phone number and stuff.
Oh, nice. You should call that number and see who answers.
I don't think this is a first edition, but when did this thing come out? 97? 98? That's when the text copyright is. Is that when it was published?
I just Googled it, and it said September 1st, 1998.
Okay, so that means September what was it?
September 1st, 1998.
Okay, so I was 8 years old. I was 1 year younger than your son when this book came out. So he's right on track.
Man, that brings back so many memories. I remember you reading Harry Potter and me being like, I should read it, and then I got it, and it sat in my closet forever before I actually read it.
Oh, yeah? Did you have your own copies of the books too?
I don't remember. If I did, they're long gone. I think you got them all, and I just kind of read them when you were done. I also listened to the audiobook more than I read the actual
Yeah,
books.
I think that was a big thing with us is we did the audiobooks because we lived out in Timbuk freaking too. So we could,
that guy narrated our commute.
Yeah.
I can't drive that road without thinking about Harry Potter.
Totally, 100%. It's like it slams it into my brain. And man, I feel like that saved our butts. Like,
that'd be a fun trip. We should do that sometime with Mom. Just go like on a long trip and just listen to Harry Potter for like an hour.
Yeah, totally.
That'd be fun.
That'd be way fun.
Like when she's about to die or something.
Like, you're about to die. Let's go on a road trip. She's just going to die in the middle of nowhere. One weekend, we'll be like, oh, crap, we got to drive her to this somewhere now.
It's like, at least we have something to listen to on the way back.
That's a lovely thought.
If she's going to do that, she should time it to when Sirius dies. She could die at the same time. Or Dumbledore.
Oh, my gosh.
Or Dobby.
How are you going to time that? Like, when are you going to die? Oh, let me tell you.
It's like, wait till you get to the chapter when Dobby dies. Then I'll die at the same time.
We'll just keep listening to that chapter over and over until she dies. Nice. I am super excited about that because I remember I was really disappointed when you tried to read the book to your kids.
Yeah, because we got the illustrated version and we tried to read it to them and they just weren't interested.
Yeah. Was it all your kids who kind of just...
Yeah. Too many words, not enough pictures. They're too young.
I guess I didn't really give them enough credit, I guess. I was thinking they were old enough, but maybe they still... I could see your two youngest definitely needing a few more years.
Yeah. The two girls.
And your second, Jane, does she give a crap at all about Harry Potter?
She likes the movies. They've watched most. I don't know if they've seen the 7th movie, but they've watched, or the 6th.
I would imagine not.
They might have only seen the first 2 or 3.
Okay, but they like those.
The Prisoner of Azkaban, the 3rd one.
Uh-huh.
I think that might be the only one they've seen up to.
Okay.
I think after that they've.
That's funny because I think I personally, growing up watching these movies, was more scared of Prisoner of Azkaban than I was of.
100%. That werewolf was freaky AF.
Yeah, seriously. I used to have like the dumbest thing. I remember the first time we went and saw it, we had like a big deal about it. We went to our cousin's house and we had like a sleepover plan. So we were going to go watch the movie, come back.
You went without me. Do you remember that?
I did. Oh, sorry.
You went to all the movie premieres without me. Our aunts always threw these parties, and you always went to them, and I never went.
Man, you got shafted. They were fun.
I was always so mad. I think it was more because like you got to do this fun thing and go see a movie, and I didn't get to go, more than being like a huge Harry Potter fan at the time. But I was still like, I remember that because they would always talk about it. They're like, "Oh, you look just like Harry Potter."
Yeah, I remember that too. But what I remember is we went and saw the 3rd movie, and the werewolf was scary as F. And then I went home and was sleeping like this. It wasn't like unfamiliar, but it wasn't like my bed. And I was sleeping on the floor in their living room down in the basement. Mm-hmm. And I remember like having half nightmares. I don't even know what you could call them because I wasn't like dreaming of encountering a werewolf, but I remember like sleeping in bed like halfway, like if I don't move, the werewolf will ignore me.
That's the worst, and you're just like terrified.
Yes. Now I look at that and be like, they could have made that werewolf so much cooler.
No, it's like a bald werewolf.
I still look at like Van Helsing, for example.
I still think Van Helsing, at least the movies I've seen, have been the coolest werewolves.
Yeah.
Even Underworld, like they're all right, but I mean.
Yeah, the Underworld ones were actual like suits too, so they couldn't move that well, and then they did CGI too, but the CGI looked crap. Yeah. But anyway, that's a whole other story.
Yeah, the Van Helsing werewolf himself is the coolest werewolf ever.
Definitely.
Like if you think bad A werewolf, that's Van Helsing's where I go to.
That is definitely it.
Hugh Jackman.
Yeah. I do love the werewolves that Magic the Gathering puts out in their little videos. Those are pretty sick.
Those are way cool, and their art's way cool.
And art is
I even have a werewolf deck. That's how much I like it.
Did I ever tell you this? That I found out that like one of the artists for Magic the Gathering or Wizards of the Coast like lives in Salem.
Yeah, you were telling me that the other day.
It's like crazy. Just like 5 minutes away. We're like, this huge guy, like, draw me a picture, please.
They're like $10,000. You're like, never mind.
Yeah, seriously. Maybe he'll do it for cheap for you, $10 a card or something.
We'll have to decide the next book we're going to read.
Yeah, we're kind of leaning towards Mistborn, Era 1. We're thinking of that because it's been so long since we've read it, and I don't know about you, but I kind of feel like I'm on a, even though Mistborn 1 is not like a super Cosmere heavy series, I still am like on a Cosmere high and wouldn't mind sticking with the Cosmere series, but we might read some other series. Or there's other, tell us, there was an author we discovered at Dragonsteel.
Yeah,
that Brandon talked to.
Brian McKellen, he has the Powder Mage trilogy. He has another trilogy I don't remember the name of, but Powder Mage trilogy is what I learned at Dragonsteel. So that's a possibility, or Mistborn.
Or maybe we'll discover something and do that one.
Yeah. Maybe we'll do Lord of the Rings. I just said that because I saw it on your shelf right there.
That is, I'm embarrassed to say that
or
I still
John
haven't read
Gwynn.
that. John Gwynn. That's a good one.
Yeah.
He's got some good series, and they're like, this is crazy. Like you look at this series, you can't really see it, but he's got 4 books in his epic novel series, or whatever the heck you call it. But geez, like having read that one and Brandon's dwarfs this epic series
really?
Massively. There's so much more to Brandon's than this one.
It's because his spans like multiple series and books.
Yeah, there is that, but still, even like just one of these books.
How many pages are those? Those look like about 1,000.
Let's see. This one looks the fattest. Nope. Not even 800 pages.
What? Was that like thick pages?
I think he does have thick pages, though.
Oh, okay.
Do you want to look at it?
Yeah, I'll look at it.
So that's literally 200 pages less than
you
his
can see
biggest
it's like thicker pages and the margins are super big.
Yeah.
Like if you compare the margins on this book are like...
And the next biggest one is not even 700 pages. That's hilarious.
I do like this paper, though. I like the paper that's like a little rough on the edges.
Yeah, it feels really good to hold.
It smells good, too. He has another series, doesn't he? What's the first book in that series?
He has a couple other series. The first book in this series is
What's the title?
Malice.
It's the title of someone fighting a dragon? Or the cover art?
That's not this one. That's his other series.
Oh.
That was like the something of the gods. That's where he's got like the dragon on the cover.
I saw that at Barnes Noble and thought about picking that up too, and then I decided to get Powder Mage, which is Promise of Blood, which is the first book of the Powder Mage trilogy.
Oh, okay. We've been gassing on for a long time.
Yeah, if you have an opinion on what we should read next, continue with
Yeah.
Cosmere or jump to something new.
Hurry and put in your comments.
Yeah, we'll try to we'll consider it.
Yeah.
But we probably won't see it. Probably won't be for the next books we do, but we'll definitely put it on our list. Because we'll probably decide today or tomorrow.
Yeah.
During the recording of this episode, not the release of this episode.
Yeah.
What we're going to read next. So.
You guys will have to let us know how you feel by the end of the first arc of Stormlight.
Yeah, let us know your favorite parts that made you laugh out loud, parts you didn't like, parts you loved, predictions.
Yeah. Were you right? Did you hate it? Are you going to give up the Cosmere now? Or is Brandon hooked you even more? Because it's like, I need to know what happens next. Alrighty, that's all for us, folks.
That's all, folks. That's what I thought of when you said that.
Well, because you're old.
I'm that old.
See y'all next time.
It's over.